Welcome to another edition of Lean Bites. My name is Paul Dean, and today's edition of Lean Bites I'm going to cover a very popular topic, solving problems. Now today I'm only going to explain it as an entry level, but could eventually lead into more in-depth investigations to determine root cause. And I've applied this approach for many years and found it to be highly successful. And if you apply this very simple method of scientific thinking to solve problems, you'll not only improve your work environment, but dramatically increase your skill and your capability at the same time. And problem solvers in the work environment are highly sought after. Now sometimes we overcomplicate problem solving, but the simplest way to solve problems, I believe, should be centered around these three key points. Examine the facts, stay cool and examine the facts. Don't panic, don't let emotions control the problem solving process. Make a judgment from these facts, make a judgment call on what actions are required and be guided by the data or the evidence coming from the facts. And do something. Finally, carefully put these actions into place and do something, monitoring the outcome as you go. So I'm going to quickly elaborate further on these three key points. Let's look at examining the facts. Examining the facts involves gathering the unbiased data, which could be quantitative or qualitative through observation, measurement, interviews, focus group surveys, and even case studies. Now this is done at the Gemba or as close to it as possible and when the problem is occurring. Now when we encounter a problem in our workplace, we examine the facts by gathering quantitative data like throughput, speed, processing rate, temperature, time, etc. And even qualitative data like on or off, hot or cold, colour, smell, flavour, and even feeling like the scale dissatisfied to satisfied. Now once we have the data, we need to make a judgment. This is where we collaborate as a team and we ask ourselves, what is the data telling us and how are we interpreting the data? This allows us to form a hypothesis, which is simply what we believe is causing the problem. Now we might have to gather more data or test our theory further. And if it's a business critical situation, we may not have a lot of time to debate our position. But in most other cases, we need to ensure we don't spend too much time in the theory stage and cause the problem to become bigger. Now, after examining the facts and building our hypothesis, we need to create actions and do something. Now, doing something simply means determining the actions, working out what's going to be done, who's going to do it or the owner of the action, and when it's going to be done or the due date, and monitoring the outcome as we go. Or in other words, making sure our actions are effectively solving the problem. Now, so quickly recapping the three steps to solving problems. 1, stay cool, examine the facts and be directed by the data. Avoid jumping to solutions. 2, from these facts, make a judgment call by deciding on a theory. And finally 3, do something by putting the actions into place around your theory and monitoring the effectiveness as you go. I hope you'll find these tips very helpful, and I'll just leave you with one thought. We cannot solve the problems with the same thinking we used when we created them. Thanks for joining me on this edition of Lean Bites.